we're back here again with Renee's Recipes, and I am making a beef stir fry tonight along with cauliflower rice. And I am using actual T-bone steak from a leftover dinner from last night. And I just have here a nice sized wok. And I have several veggies chopped here that I am going to go ahead and start to put into that wok before I add the meat, because the meat is already cooked. And what I have here is orange bell pepper, red bell pepper, purple onion, red onion, white onion, and green bell pepper, of course. I have some scallions over here on the side. And I have a mixture of seasonings here that I will add later. So this is going to go really quickly. I have the first batch of cauliflower over there in my food processor, which I will go ahead and fry. We like fried rice in this house, and other rices as well, but we're going to do it that way. Now, in case we're gonna do it fast and high heat, in case there is a problem, we have protection. We have protection. We have protection in case there is a fire. The heat, the spectator may want to move a little bit away as I go ahead and start to stir fry the veggies. This was only half, no, it's a teaspoon and a half of oil. Oh, the meat, like I said, is from a previous meal. I have the fire lower. We will like the fire a little bit higher there. We want to do this quickly. Purple onion, and that one didn't get quite cut right. And let's go ahead and put all those beautiful veggies in here. Now I will mention the wet ingredients. The wet ingredients include a half a cup of soy sauce, a fourth of a cup of sesame oil, and a half cup of cornstarch. I'm also going to add the beef broth once everything gets in together and families up, to thicken the sauce there, because we will like to have it saucy for the rice, cauliflower rice. I do also have here a tablespoon of oyster sauce. A lot of people don't cook with oyster sauce, but in the stir fry, you almost have to. I didn't mention the other veggies I'm including, which are broccoli, of course. Now, with broccoli and carrot, not broccoli actually, but carrot tends to be a little more dense. So I went ahead and boiled them a little bit. I just threw some broccoli in there. And the broccoli got rather soft. It depends on what you want for your stir fry. You don't have to have your veggie sauce. Most people like a little bit of crunch going on there. So while that's going on, I'm going to go ahead. I'm waiting for the broccoli and carrot that was boiled last because it's softer already. And we're sauteing meat, and then the meat, the chopped T-bone from left over, which is excellent, will go last. Now I'm going to go ahead and put in the seasonings to this nice, beautiful vegetable medley here. And what we have is a teaspoon of black pepper, a teaspoon of grinded, not that well grinded, bouillon chicken cube, and some fresh garlic cloves. I would say, I didn't use much, 2 or 3, chopped up. And I have some cumin. That is only a half teaspoon. And I have a half teaspoon of ginger and a half teaspoon of coriander and a half teaspoon of oregano. So we're going to go ahead and mix that beautiful medley in there. Just throw it all in and just wiggle it around a little bit before we start to get the wet ingredients added. And it does smell good, as the spectator is admiring the smell of the veggies. Now, simultaneously, we have this going on here. What I started was a cauliflower rice. And I'm just gonna go ahead and dump it right on in. I have a skillet here going with hardly any oil. Maybe not even a teaspoon, a half teaspoon, if that. Because cauliflower has a wetness, you know, it carries itself with moisture. Now, as you can see, my equipment has malfunctioned yet again, but that's okay. Now, because this is a rice, it's fine, and we can dig out the big chunks. Plus, we're also going to make another batch, so that's okay. So we'll let that go. And what I used was not a whole cauliflower broccoli. I used half. And I just put it in my food processor and I just grinded it up a little bit, not too much. I've done this before and I've done it too much and it turned into mush. We don't want that. We do not want that. We want to have a nice fried rice. So we have the stir fry going on, looking pretty good. What we will do, we would add the other ingredients as I mentioned: soy sauce, sesame oil, cornstarch, oyster sauce. And I also have a little treat there from when I made the steak, the T-bone steak. I left some juices in there, and we can use that for either the cauliflower or the stir fry. And then we also have beef broth going on here to get that thickened gravy that we all so much love. Oh, this is going really good. And it's going really fast too, and that's what we want. Now, with the cauliflower here, we're going to go ahead and let that. We won't do much with that. We'll just chop up some finely fresh parsley. Give that a little color there. And we'll also use the parsley to top off our stir fry, beef stir fry. Last time I did this, it was a chicken stir fry. It turned out great. And I use the stems and everything. You just chop it all up. And actually, the stems are, you get more nutrients in those stems. And then it will give us some color, as well as the vitamins. Smells really great. And we can turn that fire up, and we're safe in this household. We take our safety precautions. Like I said, we have the fire extinguisher on hand in case there's a fire, but I don't think that will happen. Now, we will go ahead and add some extra chopped onion and carrot to the cauliflower here, fried. Eventually, we will add a fried egg. This is fried rice. We could, or we could not. It's up to us. What do you think, spectator? Should we add the egg or leave it out? Spectator believes add an egg. What I failed to mention with those seasonings, I did mention a bouillon cube in there. I am going to also take a second bouillon cube. Oh yeah. So this is okay. Things are moving quickly here. Cauliflower is moving slow. Stir fry is moving fast. So we will start to add our liquid ingredients. These are juices from the steak. T-bone steak. This is a third cup of soy sauce. Also, a quarter cup of sesame sauce, pretty much going in at the same time, and that's fine. The seasonings are already in there. That sauce is just gonna make it. See how they calm down like that? It's getting chaotic in there. Calm down. But we do want a stir fry. So while that's calming down, we cannot forget the oyster sauce, which is a very flavorful sauce used in a lot of Oriental, Thai, Chinese restaurants and recipes. And it's delicious because I cooked with it before. And you think oyster, oh, if you don't like oyster. But no, it's just the flavor. We have the cornstarch here and the broth. So I'm going to go ahead and increase this heat so we can get this going here, because we want to add that cornstarch and we want to add the meat so we can get all that good flavor going, all while I'm finishing up chopping this fresh part. And I say that with enthusiasm because it's very, we all like to cook with fresh veggies and ingredients. Well, not veggies, but herbs, fresh herbs, but they go bad. You have to use them quickly. You know, it depends on how much you buy, the bundle, and everything. Well, you know what? Why not? We just throw a little bit of that in there. That's got a nice oil going on there. And you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and throw in that meat to give it some, that T-bone. Give it the flavor of all the vegetables. And we'll throw in the soft veggies last because they were pre-boiled. It doesn't look like we have that much veggies now, but it will, because I have more to add. With that being said, as far as more to add, I'm going to go ahead and start to pulsate the next half of the cauliflower for the rice. Okay, that looks good. That looks great, actually. And again, the moisture of the cauliflower, it tends to make your food process, processor, oh, look at that sizzle there, huh? We could add a little bit more oil to that. Yeah, maybe a little salt and pepper. And cauliflower is like a head of lettuce, which is full of water. So you're hearing the seasoning, seasoning from the water happening. And we got a nice little boil going on here with our stir fry. So let's work on the cauliflower a little bit, and then we'll reduce the heat on the stir fry just for a moment, and we concentrate on this little baby girl over here. And she is looking pretty good and smelling pretty good, even without seasoning. So we'll go ahead and just drop her in a little bit more parsley and some salt and, of course, pepper. I do like to cook with the ground pepper, but I also use regular coarse pepper. Whatever you feel comfortable with, and there are several different tastes to the different peppers that you choose to use. But ultimately, this is a rice, so it's not, the juices from the stir fry will cover all of this, all of the rice, give it the flavor it needs, so it does not need much at all. But I will go ahead and hit this, I'll hit it with a little olive oil there. Yes. That's also flavor. And I'll go ahead and hit it with some of the beef broth that I have here on the side for the stir fry. Oh yeah. We want that to fry up. We want that rice to get a nice brown color. Now as I'm looking at the stir fry cooking here, oh, it smells so good, so good. We're gonna go ahead and add in the soft veggies there, which is broccoli and more carrot. Now, also with that being said, it has all the ingredients that I mentioned, and I am going to now add that beef broth, because it is a beef stir fry. Now this is a 32-ounce container. It's still more than half full, so I didn't use that much because I had juices from the steak juices prior, and a lot of the veggies produce their own juices, waters. The cornstarch, I believe, people use to make their sauce thicker. We could or could not do that. We'll see. I just want to make sure we get a nice browning on our rice, cauliflower rice, with the onion. I'm turning on the other grill. This is the grill side here, with the onion and the carrot and parsley, salt salt and pepper, of course. A couple big chunks in there. You can remove or keep whatever you want, because once you put that stir fry over with the broth, it's gonna take care of everything. And then if you really just are, look at that, that's a nice, yes. So what's happening here is, from all the mixtures of the ingredients along with the wet seasonings, after the dry seasonings, we're getting a nice gravy-like texture. And we don't want it to be too, a little bit more chicken broth. What I poured in there was probably 1/4 of a cup. And we'll let that sit together there. Let everybody harmonize and be happy. Now what I'm thinking is actually adding a little bouillon. Just shred it up, a little bouillon, chicken cube, to the cauliflower rice. I mean, I don't think it would hurt. Although this is the flavor. You know, when people hear cauliflower, they get nervous. They're not nervous necessarily, but they think, yeah, maybe, or bland, or no. And in this household, we have not experienced any blandness with cauliflower cooking. We make cauliflower pizza, cauliflower au gratin, and cauliflower rice. Yet again, sometimes we make things more. Now this is going pretty quickly here, but the good thing about it is it can't dry out because we have lots of beef broth to keep it going. And oh boy, are those seasonings working. Now I could put that cornstarch in there. I have it. It's right there, ready to go with some of the tips that I received. But the gravy here is, I don't think it needs it. It's, you know, it's a good cut of beef and good veggies, and some veggies are already pre-boiled and they may hold a more moisture. Yeah. So we're gonna go ahead and cut it right now and finish cooking. You can see everything going on here, looking pretty good there. And actually I'm gonna go ahead and hit that with a little more. We want that to be fried, so we're gonna go ahead and cut it for now and do a part 2 of this and see what we end up doing with the cornstarch and the rice. We're going to ultimately switch the grills and put the rice on a higher grill because we want it to fry. We want it to be fried rice, and we need to add that egg. So Renee's Recipes Part 1. We'll be back with Part 2.